After a couple of weeks passed, we're talking about the Astros sign stealing scandal, along with how the coronavirus has affected athletics and sports all around the nation. Here in the next episode of Sideline Sports Podcast. Welcome to Sideline Sports Podcast. I am the host, Alex Naveja, and if you're not on the sideline, it's not Sideline Sports Podcast. Welcome to another episode of Sideline Sports Podcast. I am your host, Alex Naveja, and before we get started with today's episode of Sideline Sports Podcast, this episode of Sideline Sports Podcast was brought to you by Lean Mean Meals. Make sure to get your meal prep done with Ms. Dominguez today. He has you with your breakfast, your lunch, and even with your dinner. And he also has detox juices along with cold brew coffee. So make sure to use my promo code SIDELINE10 to save yourself 10% off on all of your orders. I'll make sure to put all that information along with his website down in the description down below. But if you're not on the sideline, it's not Sideline Sports Podcast. So let's bring it to you, folks. You know what? The coronavirus has gone nationwide. You name it, worldwide. It has gone global. And within these last couple of days, even hours, even minutes itself, a lot of sports have really they've either gone canceled or they're even being postponed. One example, the NBA season has they're not going to finish it up. It is going to be canceled. And unfortunately, the road for championships for maybe the Milwaukee Bucks, maybe the Lakers, the Clippers, maybe even a team that could come out of nowhere, maybe even the Jazz, the Nuggets, or even the Celtics, maybe even the Heat. We don't even know any of these teams really trying to make a push to the NBA championship. Now we will never know with the cancellation of the season because of the coronavirus. Another season that is currently going to be put on hold, not exactly going to be canceled, is the Major League Baseball season. They are putting a hold indefinitely right now. They don't have exactly the timetable when they will be back, but as of now, all activity has been put on hold for Major League Baseball. So all the spring training that's going on, the opening days that's supposed to happen on March 26th, that's going to be put on hold for now until the coronavirus at least slows down or is maybe even potentially out of the picture. Now, NHL also announced today, I'm talking about Thursday recording, but on Thursday, they have announced as well that their season will be on hold and postponed as well, with only a few games away from starting off with the playoffs in the NHL. All of gameplay will be put on hold as well. I actually just received news that the PGA Championship Tour is also going to be put on hold. It's actually going to be canceled, not going to be put on a hold. That's actually going on in April. So that is going to be canceled. As of now, NFL has not come out with any word of any sort. It looks like NFL, they still have a ways before they start their season anyways. So NFL, not exactly affected. XFL, we haven't heard anything. They haven't announced anything of action as of now. But as of now, the big one, and I mean all of you, it's the time of the year. It's March where we all grab our ballots, we all fill it out with the teams and as far as each round goes, and we guess, and you know how the brackets are concerned, and we love filling that out. It's maybe our favorite college athletics time of the year. And as of now, all college hoops March Madness tournament are actually being canceled as of now. All tournaments being canceled. As you could tell when you tried to turn into ESPN this morning, you saw that it was ESPN and SportsCenter breaking out the news of all of the leagues, all of the tournaments being canceled, being postponed with all of the coronavirus that's been going on as of now. And not just that, but if you're looking forward for college baseball, college softball, even men's volleyball, for all of you Long Beach State fans, Hawaii, UCLA fans, it's not going to happen this year. as college baseball, softball, you name it, track and field, men's volleyball, and the remainder of the men's and women's basketball tournaments. It's all going to be canceled this year. It's not going to go through. NCAA has officially announced in all three of their divisions that no season will be going through. No one will be able to finish up their seasons, as the coronavirus has been something that's been stopping all of activity. And of course, you have to be very understanding, and I understand the whole entire situation as well, but it's very tough for those that are working in athletics, or even for the people that are working in those arenas, in just game day management, game day staff and such, that really turn to this as a source of income, or even this is their full-time job. This is a very tough time to be able to go through the coronavirus, but we have to take the precautions as to the professional athletes. We have to take precautions as to these college athletes, and really have to just take these safety measures into our own hands, and the leagues and everybody else that is very concerned for the coronavirus. And I know a lot of you thinking right now, oh, it's not going to affect the youth, but of course it spreads amongst the athletes, or even these athletes, these professionals, and then it spreads amongst to their families, and then it spreads out to the elderly. And when the elderly get a hold of it, it's not the best of pictures, as the elderly don't have a very strong immune system to be able to withstand the coronavirus. So I know a lot of you thinking it doesn't affect the youth, but it will affect the loved ones around them. And of course, after listening to a lot of quotes and reading a lot of statements from major leaguers, even NBA players and such, so a lot of them are just saying, hey, we'd rather just stay home, be quarantined, and really just keep our family safe, and just stay out of all of this that's going on in the meantime. And we'll prepare for our seasons. We'll finish up our seasons, finish up whatever the business may be in the future. So I honestly respect and I understand everything that is going on. Unfortunately, with the Utah Jazz players, Rudy Gobert, really, he was the first player to get diagnosed and having to spread it amongst to another teammate. And unfortunate for him, not taking the coronavirus as serious when he was leaving the post game press conference. He was touching all of the mics while he walked out and went back to his locker room, not exactly taking the best of, not exactly the most serious, not taking it very serious, which then he was spread it to another teammate himself. So not the best of ideas for especially a professional like Rudy Gobert like that to bust a stunt like that. So right now, having to take precautions right now with the coronavirus, very serious deal spreading around, and really just having to be careful. But you know what, we're going to take a quick break here in the 22 West studios, but when we come back, we're going to go to talk about the Astros scandal. We never got a chance to talk about that here in Sideline Sports Podcast, where if you're not on the sideline, it's not Sideline Sports Podcast. We'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Munoz, and I play for the Guatemala women's national team, and you're here watching Sideline Sports Podcast.
Welcome back to Sideline Sports Podcast, presented by Lean Mean Meals. I am the host, Alex Naveca. We are here live at the 22 West studios to add on to the coronaviruses and the whole athletes and how it's affected professional sports and college sports, NCAA. Also, most schools, colleges, and even elementary schools, middle schools are also they're also beginning to close as well until further notice. When I walked into Long Beach State, where the 22 West Studios is located, the place was absolutely deserted. There was absolutely nobody here on campus. And so I walked in here inside of the University Student Union. I saw a couple students here, but as of out there, I did not see anything. Very well described as just deserted, just a ghost town here in the Long Beach State studios. But you know what? Now let's talk about the Astros scandal, with everything that happened with that. After sitting back and taking all of it in, we'll go ahead and break it down to you very quickly. In the year of 2017, the Houston Astros were sign stealing using the use of technology and cameras from center field, and they were using those cameras from center field to steal signs from coaches, and they would use that in the replay room, and in that replay room, they would decode it, and they would tell it to their batters via banging the trash can, whistles, whatever, you name it. They were just trying to get the batter's attention and just try to tell them what the pitch was coming. There's a couple of videos where the Chicago White Sox pitcher, I believe it's Farquhar, he is actually facing off against the Houston Astros, and the Astros hitters, I'm blanking out on the batter as of now, but Farquhar is actually facing off against one of the Houston Astros batters, and he would foul off many pitches, you name it, fastballs, changeups, and he was still able to foul off the pitch, and until Farquhar started to catch up hey, how are they catching on to my pitches? So Farquhar called to his catcher to come on the mound, and that's when they were starting to figure out, hey, are you seeing this? They're whistling before every pitch, they're banging on trash cans, and so on and so forth. Perfect example as well, perfect clip. You go to the American League Championship Series where it's Altuve versus the hardest throwing pitcher in the game, Aroldis Chapman, and it would be Jose Altuve who would end up winning the game on a walk-off home run that would take the Astros to the World Series to play against the Dodgers. And it was Aroldis Chapman who was delivering his fastballs, his sliders, and it was Jose Altuve who was able to catch up to the fastball, and he knew the pitch that was coming. So, very ridiculous, and just Astros going way out of line. And I'll tell you guys about my opinion in just a few moments. But even in the World Series, the Astros were using the technology, only of course when they would play at Minute Maid Field. They would play at Minute Maid, and right there, that was when Yu Darvish was pitching there at Minute Maid, and he didn't exactly do the best during the World Series of 2017, where the Astros were able to pick up on his signs, and they knew what was coming by then. And it was that one game in the World Series, I believe Game 5, where the Astros were going back and forth, and they kept coming back against the Dodgers. The Dodgers would lead the game, Astros would come knocking on the door and end up coming back into the game, and vice versa. It was just a back and forth battle, just like that. So, if you ask me, the Astros cheated the whole entire league, not just the Dodgers, not just the Yankees, not just the White Sox. It was the whole entire league. Everybody that the Astros played against, they ruined a lot of careers. They messed up some minor leaguers' careers that were getting called up, having to face off against the Houston Astros, and unfortunately, they would end up getting rocked or they get struck out because of these Astros players that decided to become selfish and to cheat the system, cheat the whole entire league. So not the best of moves right there. And you know what, after really just thinking about everything and reevaluating the whole entire thing, sign stealing has been a part of the game since it's been invented in the 1800s, but you're really passing the line, and you're really crossing the line when you have to use cameras. When you use any use of technologies, you name it, the Apple Watch, the cameras, any use of technology, you are crossing the line, and for you to have to do that is just absolutely disappointing. And a lot of players losing the respect for the Houston Astros, and there's going to be a lot that's going to be coming to the Houston Astros. You got to expect some hit by pitches. You have to expect some big time things coming their way. So once they got caught in 2017 of their actions this past off season, they would get punished. They would be charged $5 million. No draft picks in 2020 and 2021. They would fire their general manager, Jeff Luhnow, and also fire their manager AJ Hinch, and they are actually suspended up from the league for a year, and that would be the only punishments. That's like a slap in the wrist right there. That is nothing. If you ask me, that is not even a punishment. Nothing whatsoever. Rob Manfred, you came up short-handed. If you ask me, that championship should be stripped, and I'm not saying to give it to the Dodgers. I'm saying that it should be stripped and just make it a neutral year. Nobody won the World Series that year. No Yankees, no Dodgers, no Astros, nobody. Nobody won it. And it's only fair if you ask me. Because all of this, it's not much of a punishment, if you ask me. Not a punishment at all. For a major league club, nothing. They don't learn anything. They don't get their title stripped. They already won it. But you think about it. The Astros are already good. Why do they need to cheat in order to win? Precisely. Why? Why did you need to do that? A couple weeks later, there's rumors that are going on about Jose Altuve, who comes up with he has buzzards on him as well, which explains the whole reason why when he hit that home run against Aroldis Chapman, he was like this, and he was telling the guys no to avoid getting his jersey ripped off to expose the buzzard. Well, after being interviewed by Carlos Correa and also Altuve, they both said, I had an unfinished tattoo and that my girlfriend doesn't like that. So he told Correa's girlfriend and told him, hey, we're not going to be doing this. Don't be ripping my husband's jersey or whatever the case may be. Do you believe that? I don't. I truly believe that there were buzzards on Jose Altuve. And again, why? You have such a talented squad. Everybody was good. From that lineup, from the number one hitter all the way down to the 9 hitter, everybody was so great. Why would you do that? Why do you need to change, or why do you need to cheat the league, cheat the system? Why do you need to bend the rules? Who knows what could have happened? Maybe you still could have beat the Dodgers in 2017, despite the Dodgers having a hot run going into 2017. But why? Why result to that? And then here's Rob Manfred also now coming in with a new rule that he wants to implement, that the number 1 seeded team and going into the playoffs, they're going to get to choose their opponents? What is this? What is this? What is Major League Baseball turning into? That is horrible. That is horrendous. And of course, really sitting back, taking all of this in, are you really trying to kick this in the rug? Are you really trying to just hide this away? Because if it is, that's atrocious. That is horrible. Why would you even try to push this under the rug? This is such a serious crime that they're committing. Really robbing a ton of guys of careers, really making a lot of guys look bad. Perfect example, Yu Darvish. He went through so much haze in social media. He went through so much smack for what he went through. Now he's coming out and he's asking, so we're giving awards to cheaters? I didn't know cheaters receive gold medals. So we're permitting this? Because despite the league taking action, doesn't seem like much. Well, we'll see. We'll have to wait and see. After the coronavirus that's going on, we will have to wait and see what's going to come for the Houston Astros. But you know what? That's all the time I have left here inside of the 22 West Studios. I know it's a little bit of a shorter podcast, but again, this episode of Sideline Sports Podcast was brought to you by Lean Mean Meals. Make sure to get your meal prep done with Mitch Dominguez today. He has you with your breakfast, your lunch, and even with your dinner. He has detox juices along with cold brew coffee. I'll make sure to put all of the information down in the description down below. Make sure to use my promo code Sideline10 to save yourself 10% off on all of your orders. That'll be down in the description down below. And of course, if you liked this video and if you like this content, please give this video a thumbs up. And you know what? If you want to see more content like this, hit the subscribe button, because within these next couple of weeks, we got some great guests coming on. We've got some great content coming your way despite sports being down. There's still there's always stuff going on, and there's always content and things to be said, to be shared amongst you all as well. But if you're not on the sideline, it's not Sideline Sports Podcast. I was Alex Naveca, your host. Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you next week.